room.
Test 1 2.
Yes.
Give me the big memes. Right.
So, are you ready to go and do the show?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Okay, sick.
Let's fucking do it, man.
Let's go. Okay, I'll introduce you so then you can come in. It's all good. Right.
How do you want me to do it? Like, yo, what up? It's your boy T-Dog.
It's up to you.
Just like, you know? just the Carl Pilkington. Alright. I'll do that.
Okay. Hello everybody and welcome to yet another episode of Who Knew, the weekly show where we discuss all things pop culture, comic books, movies, games and TV shows and tell you all the things you might not know about them, even though you definitely already do. It's a new week, there's not so much to talk about this week, but we're going to make it great anyway. And we're here to bring comic book, movie and TV show news straight to your ear holes as we do every single Monday. I'm Harry and this week it's a little bit different. The Easter holidays are coming up at uni, so Matthew and Annabelle cannot be here with me today. So instead I have brought in my best friend, Tom.
You alright?
Oh dear. It is Wednesday, my dude.
It is Wednesday, my dude. Yeah.
It's going to be a bit different this week in terms of how we do things because obviously different dynamic, all that stuff. And I also should say that as of next week it will be the holidays at university, so we will not be putting anything out on the radio station on CSRfm, but we will be uploading sporadically on the podcast. The episodes might be a bit weird because the three of us regular hosts can't be together, so we'll just be maybe uploading me a show from home with Tom again. We'll just see how that goes. So with the intro done, let's dive straight into this week's news. So the big news this week...
What's the big news?
The big news is that the DC film Suicide Squad is going for reshoots in Los Angeles. So...
yeah, I remember hearing that they said that there were certain scenes that they didn't want in, or they did. Or did or didn't.
Yeah.
They were like, we got to change it up, or let's throw extra things into it.
Yeah, and I've heard that the reason for them changing it up is because of Deadpool. I didn't read the article on why, so that's about that. God. After the absolute state that Batman vs Superman was, considering that had reshoots, I'm thinking this could be another crock of shit, and then DC's cinema stuff will be down the shit. Other news related to Batman vs Superman is that it's just
still
yeah, it's still shit, everybody. It's past 700 million at the box office, but is now slowing down.
Good job, Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder. There we go. Yeah, good job, Zook. You did a good job. You made two superheroes even shitter.
Yes. That is their news for this week. Not much.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, literally there is nothing this week. Now we move into our next segment, the Daily Ridley, where we discuss anything and everything to do with Star Wars. And the big news this week is that Ahsoka Tano of Clone Wars fame is getting her own novel, which is going to explain what happened to her after she left the Jedi Order. So everybody is quite looking forward to that, myself included.
I'm not, because I don't like Star Wars.
Again, barely anything this week to talk about as to do with Star Wars, so that brings us to the end of the Daily Ridley for this day/week. It's now into our main topic for the week, where we're shaking it up a bit. We're going to be talking all things the apocalypse. So we're going to start with a little discussion about the Walking Dead Series 6 finale, which happened. Then we'll move into a discussion and review of 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Who's got it?
And then, that all being about the apocalypse in various different ways, we're then going to be talking apocalypse survival plans between the two of us. Let's crack on with it. The Walking Dead finale. How good was it?
I was jaw dropped. I was like, as soon as it cut and finished, I was like, who got it? who is it? But I reckon it's got to be it's Abraham.
That's my.
It was. However you want to look at it, people have said that they've gone through the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and the way they've edited it, it's really good. You can't, because he jumps back and forth between, well, the camera jumps back and forth between the different characters, and he's either off or on the right path. So I reckon it is obviously Abraham, because there was a certain bit where he was like, who's going to get it? Who's going to be big enough to stand up and just take it? And Abraham sort of like raised himself up a bit.
Slightly off his knees.
And he just sort of just stared at what's his face, Negan.
Negan,
and
yeah.
he just stared at him dead straight and was like, Negan's like, I'm gonna get you, boy. You're mine.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know or haven't watched it yet, this is going to be, I guess,
spoilers.
spoilery.
It is spoilers. Yeah. We don't care.
And you should have watched it by now.
Yeah, you should have.
It's the bloody finale.
It's the 6th season.
So what happened this episode was that Rick and the gang needed to get Maggie, who is pregnant, to the Hilltop community where they have a doctor.
Yep.
And they're trying to go from Alexandria to Hilltop, but they find that the Saviours, Negan's group, are blocking every single road.
Path,
So there's a lot of trials and tribulations to get there. We'll go into it in more detail. And then they set out on foot because they can't get there by road, and then are cornered by the Saviours, and we finally meet Negan in the last 10 minutes of the episode.
The last 10 minutes, but they were doing a diversion. That's why they left Eugene, or Huge Meme, in the camper and just let him go off, because they're like, they'll think that you're going off and we'll split off into the woods and cut through and try to get to the hilltop.
Yeah.
But no, they got to Eugene, and that is where you'll see the last part where everyone's all in a line, ready to go. They're
driving around, and the first roadblock they meet is a group of the Saviours.
They're just a group of them.
Yeah, and they kind of go out and stand, like there's a standoff, and...
I don't know if you looked at the guy, the first guy that they met on the road. Didn't he look a bit like... I forgot his name. He was a character in GTA. He was the crazy one.
Yes, he did.
He looked spitting image of him. I'm not going to be able to remember his name. I think it's either Franklin, Michael, and...
it's the other one.
It's the other one, the last one in the group, and he's spitting image of him.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I was like, I've seen him on the cover of GTA and stuff. Yeah. But so they bump into them, and there's a standoff between...
Trevor, there we go.
Yeah, there it is. It looks like him. So there's a standoff between the Survivors, which are Rick's group, and the Saviours, which are Negan's group, and they're standing off.
It was just sort of more or less a conversation. It was like, look, this is what we do to people.
Yeah, because they're kicking the crap out of someone.
Well, that guy was obviously in their group, and it was like, we're setting an example of what we do in our group, so you better watch out.
And then he says to Rick, you need to be careful because it might be yours or someone you love's that last day on Earth, which is foreshadowing what happens at the end.
And it's the title of the show, The
Last Day on Earth or something. I forget the exact title.
Last Days
along
on
those
Earth.
lines. So they drive away and nothing happens, and then they come to another
roadblock, which is... I know, it's just another group of Saviours. It was just another group.
They reverse away. And then there's... I forget the exact order, but there's another one which is all logs.
There's all logs. And there's the same guy on the other side talking to him, and it's like, you can't come over this way, or there's something you can't do from here.
Yeah, and they set the logs on fire.
And they hang the guy who they were beating the crap out of on the floor.
Yeah.
And they just hung him, and they were like, nah.
We need to go.
We just need to go.
And then they go to another one, and there's zombies chained up in the road.
Yeah, they were all chained up, and I think a couple of them had Michonne's Glenn's and Daryl, like their personal, I think it was like a lock of hair of Michonne.
Daryl's
crossbow that was stuck in one of the zombie stomachs.
Yeah, and so they realise that the Saviours are taunting them because they've got some of their friends.
Yeah,
and so they drive through it, don't they?
Yeah,
they cut the walker's arms off, and then
the Saviours were shooting at them, but they weren't at them. They were just shooting at the floor. So Rick sort of just cuts their hand off, and it splits the chain because they're all sort of handcuffed, and then it just splits them, and then they're all separated, and then they drive off. They stop halfway, and they're like, right, we can't do this, we'll split off.
Yeah,
Eugene take the camper.
Offers to sacrifice himself, and there's a great moment
there. I loved that moment. I sort of got me choked up because I was like, Christ, is this going to be the last we see of Eugene? Because from when we first saw him, he was this hillbilly type of
useless liar. Yeah.
And then midway through, he shows Abraham that there's this steelwork factory where we can make bullets.
Halfway through this season, just gone.
But just before that, he's just showing himself that he's getting better and better. He's
survive.
He's actually becoming a survivor.
Yeah.
So
and then you think he's going to sacrifice himself, and he gives Rick the recipe for bullets, and you're like, oh no.
God. And he was Rick was like, oh, thank you very much. You've been a great help.
Yeah.
And he's like, thank you ever so much. And then when he meets his last words with Abraham, they're like,
you're a survivor.
You're a survivor.
We just didn't know it.
It's
and
he was like, you just didn't know it. Was and then he was like, I knew it.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh yeah, that's great.
It was a great but sad moment, and it plays off.
And then but the other bit, just when it finishes it, Abraham puts his hand out for a handshake, but then Eugene gets in with a hug, and then it just that's a proper bromance.
And it's a real like juxtaposition to, was it last episode or the episode before, where they're arguing
like, because he's like, I don't need, like, require your services anymore.
Yeah, and then Abraham storms off and leaves Eugene, and so they're kind of like not too friendly.
But they sort of resolve it at the end of the episode, because he's like, okay, what I did beforehand was sort of a move. I'll apologise, I'm sorry.
It was a nice moment. So yeah, Eugene drives off, and then they go running through the woods with Maggie to try and get her to Hilltop, and they hear the Saviour's whistle, so they divert, and then they divert again, and then suddenly they just they're open out into a clearing, lights come on from cars, and there are Saviours all around them
whistling, and it's just super spooky, and you could just see in Rick's face, like, the trauma and how scared he is, like, that's it, we're done. Yeah,
and he's like sweating, and there's like, there's no way out of this. And this is the guy who's so used to finding a way out, and he's just made to kneel. And then they pull Glenn, Daryl, and Michonne and Rosita out, and they realise they've got them as well. Oh, it's tense, and the music in that scene, it's all silent, except there's like a bass line of like wow, and then it stops, and it's like I can't do music instrument sounds, but it's really creepy. So the dude who looks like Trevor from GTA like knocks on the RV.
It's like, it's time to introduce you like to Negan, and then he comes like waltzing out almost like a rock star. The way he comes out in like a leather jacket and everything. The bass, Lucille,
the baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire,
perched on his shoulder, coming out like a rock star, and it's like, hello.
And he delivers. He's only in the last 10 minutes, but he is really like freaky and terrifying, and he delivers this speech about how Rick's group has done him over, and but he wants them to work for them, but then he's going to have to show them up by killing one of them, and they're all on their knees, and it's like, which one of you is it going to be? And it gets the tension going.
Ooh-wee.
It's
mama.
So yeah, he's walking along doing an eeny, meeny, miny, mo. He threatens Carl. He threatens Maggie. Then Glenn goes mental.
It, and he's like, nah, I'm not having any of that like wussy just stop it.
But then he
was like, I'll let it off for once.
It's an emotional time. Yeah.
I sort of chuckled, but like, it was like, phew.
Yeah, like I don't know how to feel about him, because he's like really charming, but then you know he's really evil, and it's so weird. I mean, if you've read the comic books, you know what happens and all that stuff, and you know that Negan is a used car salesman, so he's got the vibe to like settle you in,
converse with people, and get what he wants out from them.
Exactly. And then, obviously, this is a big moment in the comic books. Pretty much everybody, regardless of whether you've read it or not, know that Negan clubs someone with his baseball bat to death. Yeah. And I won't spoil who it is in the comic books.
No, watch it.
Read it. So I won't spoil it, but I was expecting that to happen. Yeah. But then...
But actually, also jumping back from the eeny, meeny, miny, mo part, when he actually gets to the final part where he's actually going to hit the person we don't know who it is. Yeah. The way it was angled, it does look like it's Abraham, because it was like further to their right. I don't know, if you watch it, you'll see it, and it's like further to their right, and it's sort of like angled in a position where it actually looks like it's either going to be Abraham or somebody else.
Yeah, they do the death, but from a point of view shot, so you don't know who it is. Yeah. Everybody's trying to work it out, and
it's quite horrible to hear, because everyone screamed, and they were just screaming. Yeah, and then
like blood comes down the screen,
but then you can just hear the crunching of the skull. Like you can still hear him, like whoever it was breathing, because he was like, and then.
That was it. All goes black, and then you can still hear it like
still
thudding,
and then it just. Done.
And it's horrifying, and it leaves you wondering, like, who is it? I always thought it was going to be who it was in the comic books, but my second guess is Abraham, if they change things up, as they tend to do in the show. Yeah. Because, well, in the show they've already used Abraham's death for Denise, the doctor woman who got the crossbow through the eye.
Oh yeah.
In the comic books, that's how Abraham dies.
Oh right. Okay.
So he should have been dead at that point if it was him. So I have a feeling they might kill him. Obviously, I think
they've jumped off everybody's deaths, like Glenn's spook scare death.
Where he went under the dustbin. Carl had his eye shot out.
Yeah, Carl had I don't know. Carl's okay, but it was just another one of those. Oh, Carl's been shot again.
Again.
God damn it, Carl! Stay out of the way of guns, man. Jeez. He has. Yeah, I think he's attracted to guns, man.
He is an American.
Sexually, has that sexual desire.
Sexual. Oh dear. Yeah, so I don't think it's not going to be Rick.
No,
there's no way
Christ
they'll do it.
no. I don't think they'll ever kill off Daryl, Rick, Michonne.
Or Carl, because then Rick will be left with no kids, basically.
Well, he's still got Judith. Where the hell is that baby at?
She got left at Alexandria with Gabriel.
Because
Gabriel has become badass with his sniper. Ooh-wee! Oh, so much good stuff happened in this ep.
I still think he's a bit of a pussy. Just everything he says to Rick's like, I'll do good, Rick. I'll do it, man. You believe in me, man. Come on. And it's just like... Nah,
though, because
I mean, when there was the bit where they went after those saviors in the satellite dish place there. Yeah, it sort of brought out his character a bit more. Like, okay, he's still a preacher, but still he's a gun-toting preacher.
It was like that bit in Saving Private Ryan. He's reciting Bible verses whilst knocking people off with the sniper.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I sort of thought, wow. Okay, he's moving up, but I just still think he's a bit of that, like, wussy priest dude.
No, I honestly think he's 100%, like, adapted, but he's still trying to earn Rick's respect and trust, because in this one he's like, I've done this, I've done this, this is sorted, this is known, and he goes, Judith will be my number one priority, but then he ends it with, do you trust me to look after this town?
Yeah.
And then Rick says yes, so I think... For me, this is my opinion anyway. He's there. He's one of the survivors, but he's still trying to earn his place.
That's what I'm trying to get at. He's still that wussy person, but he's not quite there.
Yeah. So he's becoming good. And then what else happened in this? Oh,
Carol disappeared. Carol disappeared. Well, we saw her in the previous, like, episode 15 before 16. So she disappeared. She came across by the Saviors, but before that, her and Maggie were both captured by the Saviors.
Yeah.
Just after the satellite dish incident, they were taken to some, like,
safe house
or something, and she just loses it.
Yeah,
she was this badass character, and I'm just like, Carol, I hope what you're going to do is like as you did in Terminus when she went all ham on everybody. That's what I was hoping she was going to do, sort of like to some of the Saviors. But she sort of did, but she was like, I don't know, she was just shaken up throughout the whole thing. It was just really weird.
She's gone right the other way, because like she started off as this wussy housewife, then grew into this like Terminator, like she will do what
back
she
in the
needs
prison
to do.
when like the whole illness came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and
she was like, that's where it broke. That's like she like, I don't have no daughter. There's nobody to stop me. I'm just going to kill the people who are infected because they'll make everybody else sick.
And this place matters to me. Kill for the people I love.
But now, after that, like whole them being captured and her and Maggie being captured, it just sort of, I was just like, wow, what has happened to this character? She's sort of, unless I'll get into it in a minute, but there's something I think that's gone on with Carol.
Well, yeah, because like, at the beginning of this season, do you remember that episode where the wolves came into Alexandria and she gets dressed up as one of them and is running around like
stabbing everyone, shooting everyone.
She was so badass.
Brilliant.
But then there was an episode after that this season where she wrote out the initials of everyone she's killed, and it came to the total of 18 in the notebook.
Yeah.
And I think what's getting to her is the fact she's realised how many like actual humans she's killed rather than zombies.
Okay, I think that's, as you're going to say, is I think that she's getting to the point where she can't take the amount of people she's killed.
Yeah.
Apart from the walkers, it's fine, but I think she's getting to the point where she's like, I can't kill human beings.
Yeah.
Whereas Rick he can just do it like on point. Some new survivor will come in, it's like, oh, I don't trust you, man. Bang. I think that's where it's gotten to the point where Rick can't take any more chances, and that's where he's just like, I'm just going to kill everybody. I'll just kill anyone who just gets in the way of our family. Just done. But I think with Carol, she can't take it anymore.
Well, that's why she tried to run off, because...
she ran off... No. Rick exiled her in the 4th or 5th season.
Yeah, but then she ran off in this season.
Again, but for more matters, like, on her own.
Yeah, and that's because, like, the whole thing that's happening to her, she's conscious of how many people she's killed, but she knows... if she's staying around people she loves and cares about, she will have to continue to kill. She doesn't want to do that, which is why she ran. So that's what's causing her to like slide into this like I want to die state of mind.
Yeah, because there's that bit in episode I think 15, just as she was leaving, she killed all those saviors that were like they stopped her dead in the road. So she was like, you can't do this, you won't, just go home, just don't do anything. And then we're like, nah. She just like lets out
machine guns them.
She just mows them down. So I think she still has the tendencies to kill people, but just not, I don't think she forgives herself after it.
Like she used to let it go, but now she's not.
Yeah, well no, Morgan shows up, but when she was shooting those saviors in the car, one of them was still that one still survived.
Yeah.
And he tracked her down.
Yeah, that was in the last episode.
That was in the last episode. And then he tracked her down, got her, shot her a fair few times, like in the arm and the leg.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Just do it.
Just kill me.
Just no point." And then
Morgan comes
along, saves the day, shoots the bad guy.
Which is interesting for Morgan because he's always been like, life is precious, I won't kill, but then kills the saviour to save Carol. So it's kind of, that's the dilemma for Morgan at that point, is he's like, if I don't kill this dude, all life is precious, Carol will die. But if I kill this dude, I kill this dude. Yeah. So it's a lose-lose situation for him.
And then they meet one of the, like, I think they actually are. They are Hilltop folks.
No, they're from a different community. I forget the name. I know the name of the community is called the Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay.
And
is this further into the comics?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, they're those two guys that come along as Morgan rescues Carol. They're from the Kingdom.
Right.
And they're like the opposite of the Saviors. So they have this place, but they're really good people. And there's this really awesome character in there called Ezekiel, who has a pet tiger.
I know the character Ezekiel, but I had no idea he had a tiger.
Yeah,
so
he has I think when the apocalypse broke out, he rescued it from a zoo, if I'm remembering correctly. So I don't know how they would do that in the TV show, but
such a nice young man.
I'm really hoping we'll get to see the tiger. But yeah, and that's interesting, the side stuff that happens besides what the Saviours capture in the main group, but the stuff with Morgan and Carol, because Morgan went mental, and then it explains to you how he came back from that. Yeah,
because he had his own like little 2-episode thing where he was like in that cabin with that guy, and he showed him like, you can do not feng shui, but it was some sort of like mixed martial art. Aikido. There you go. He was doing that mixed martial art stuff with the bow staff, and it was like, there you go, just find your inner self and stuff like that.
Not killing people.
Worth it, or in that case, he did actually have to kill him.
And so he breaks his vow, but it's like Morgan came back from the dark place where he was guilty about killing people, and so his, I guess, presence around Carol is kind of hinting that she'll be able to come back from the state of mind that she's in. But then it's also interesting because whilst it's saying that, Morgan having to abandon his code of not killing is also saying, Carol, you can come back, but you will have to kill people. So I'm interested to see where they'll go with that next series. And then also, obviously, I want to find out what happened with the rest of the group. It ends on a real cliffhanger.
A real big cliffhanger.
It's pretty good, though.
So do you want me to get into the point why I think Carol is like she is right now?
Yeah, okay. Let's see.
So this is just a small, tiny theory that I think. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just going to throw it out there. I think she's already met Negan.
Okay.
I think she's already met him and spoken to him. And I think it was just during that episode that they were both captured.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what's happened is, because there was a certain point where it was just Maggie on her own and Carol was still in that room. I have a funny feeling, this is just speculation, but I have a funny feeling that he talked to her. He's like, I don't like what has happened with Rick and him killing my men and all that stuff. But here's what I want you to do. Just tell me what's going on with Rick and everybody.
Okay.
And also to lure them in to where they're at so that he could do that. So I reckon what he's done is, or he's made her do, is poison Maggie. That's why Maggie's...
I've heard this theory. Yeah, Jeremy Johns.
Yeah, that dude. I was totally on board with it. I was like, dude, this is super clear, how it was.
And she feels so guilty that she runs
away. Yeah, so that is why I think that she's disappeared. I mean, also, she's killed a lot of people, but I think adding on to that is like, I can't be here any longer. So she's poisoned Maggie, lured them, obviously made them disappear. Go off to the hilltop, go find the doctor, but they've planned ahead. They've blocked all the roads, and
then they trap them.
And then that's where you see him at the last episode.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting theory. I really liked it. I was like, oh, that would shake things up big time.
I'm 100% on it.
I
95%.
hope they do something like that.
That's what
I
I'm
really
hoping.
think it would really, really shake things up, and you'd be like, oh my god.
So that is a good idea.
I like that a lot. So I guess we should move on from The Walking Dead now.
Yeah, I want to talk on more, but I think we've pretty much covered
we got to move on.
The last episode.
That's a kind of
speculations,
mini review and a speculations of what's going to happen in Series 7. If you haven't seen it, catch up. Season 6 is the time to get back on board. If you've given up with The Walking Dead, start up again.
That's basically what I did. I sort of stopped midway through, like after Terminus and everything. And then once like there was a 4th season out, I was like bang onto it, like powered through it.
So now in our apocalypse themed episode, we're going to move on to some 10 Cloverfield Lane discussion.
Ooh,
so,
right, okay. So
this will be spoilers. If you haven't seen it, then jump now until this time code. 39 minutes and 49 seconds. And then the discussion will be ended, so we're going to go into it now. Let's go.
Okay. It was a good film. I really enjoyed it. Like, I don't know if it was better than Cloverfield. It's not like the...
No.
Because I think I remember hearing... I'm not going to remember the director, but he said not in the same time plane. One was in 2006, one's now.
Yeah, like it's years later. And this is the thing, like the relationship, for those of you who've seen the first Cloverfield, is basically a massive monster comes down and wrecks stuff in New York. They set off a nuclear bomb. Film ends. They've been talking about a sequel for years and nothing ever materialised.
Because if you do watch at the end, like right at the very end of the credits, there is a little recording at the end, and played backwards, it's still alive.
Yeah.
Like, it's this guy's like, it's still alive. So, could it be still alive?
Yeah. Yeah, that film was kind of a standalone thing.
That's what
And then, out of nowhere, a couple of months ago, a trailer dropped for 10 Cloverfield Lane. It was out of the blue, just wham. No one had heard anything about it.
No, it just sort of dropped off the radar, and then as soon as they dragged it out, like, we're doing another Cloverfield. But everyone assumed that, is it going to be another one of those first-person juddery camera things? And they just didn't say anything.
It's entirely different, and this is why it was so important that we said spoiler warning, because it is massive. Like, this film, as you saw from the trailer, it's got the Cloverfield name, but it's all 3 people in an underground bunker, and you're like, what has this got to do with Cloverfield?
Yeah.
So we'll get to that right at the end, but we'll talk about the film bit by bit. So what happens in this film is Mary Elizabeth Winstead,
my wife, sorry,
she leaves her boyfriend and drives.
She has problems, or she has issues, and she has to run away from things, so she drives away.
And as she's driving, she's hit by a car, and
knocked off the road.
Yeah, knocks off the road and then blacks out. And then we wake up with her, and she's chained in this tiny room. Doesn't know where she is. She's got a broken leg, and
I think it was just bruised because
it's in a brace, isn't it, or
some
something?
Sort of cast or whatever.
So then this guy comes in, played by John Goodman.
He's a top guy.
And he seems really creepy, and you're like, oh my god.
I didn't get that. I don't know if it's because I know what characters John Goodman plays, but he just seemed nice. I mean, there were moments where he was weird, but
I was freaked out by him from the start.
Oh wow, okay.
And it's revealed eventually that she is in an underground bunker and was rescued by John Goodman's character. There's also another person, Howard, and Emmett is another person.
Howard and Emmett.
Yeah, those are the three main characters. Yeah, John Goodman's character, Howard, claims to have pulled Michelle, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, from the wreckage of her car and brought her to his underground bunker. Yep. And he tells Michelle and Emmett that the world has ended.
There's a fallout.
Yeah,
there's
fallout,
massive
nuclear radiation
in the air. Can't go out, can't breathe it. So we're in a nice air sealed type
bunker that he built. And John Goodman shows her the outside world through the window of the bunker, and the truck that hit her off the road is parked outside. So she gets a bit suspicious and says to Emmett, like,
I think he knocked me off the road
on purpose.
He did it on
the
purpose.
World's not ended. Maybe he's just a nutter. And then she tries to escape, doesn't she?
She tries to escape.
And as she's escaping, this woman comes up to the door,
into the door and is like, let me in.
She's knocking against the door with her face, and there's all blood going everywhere. So Michelle finally believes that the world is something's happened outside. But then it gets even spookier. Spooky scary. And she says to Emmett about Howard's daughter, who Howard showed her a picture of earlier in the film.
His daughter, Megan. Or his supposed daughter, Megan. He has so many stories about her, and it's like almost true.
Well, it's just this web of lies. And she says to Emmett about his daughter and shows her the picture that John Goodman showed her. And it's not. Emmett knew Howard previously, and he's like, "That's not his daughter. That's a girl that went missing years ago and was never ever found." So they're like, "Ooh, did he kidnap her?"
He kidnapped her and killed her, because there was a bit where the air went off. And they were like, "We're not going to be able to survive any longer if the air's not on." So you're like, "Well, Michelle, you're the thinnest. You can fit through the air ducts and just turn it on." But as she goes through, there's a certain part of the bunker that was sort of separate. and then she finds the earring of
the girl
the
in the
supposed
photo.
girl in the photo.
And then on the glass of the door in the
help.
ceiling is written help with dried
But it's
blood
on the
around
inside.
it. On the inside, yeah. So they're like, oh, maybe...
He did the killing. He kidnapped and made the kill.
He keeps saying things throughout the film, Howard, John Goodman's character, that are really like creepy and...
There was a really weird bit that just sort of put me off him, was when they were playing, it was some sort of charades game where they have to like, here's this word, or no, I'll say a string of words and you have to guess who I am. And there was this one where they were doing for Michelle. And he was like, "What is she out of the three of us?" She's small, she's little. He's like, yeah. And then it's like, and
she's a little princess.
What else is she? What else is she? She's what? She's what? She's like a girl, a child. It's like no, more grown up, a princess. And it was just like, what?
Yeah.
Dude, what were you calling her a princess for? And you could see in her face like,
he gradually gets creepier.
And then it, like, after it was like, that was a silly thing to do, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, oh, that was a bit spooky. And then that bit where
it's
his turn, it's Howard's turn, and then he's like, I'm watching you every night and every day.
I know what you're doing,
and I know what you're up to.
Yeah.
And then he's like going, and then Emmett's like, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about, like constantly looking at Michelle, and he's like, dude, I have zero clue what you're going on about.
Like,
and then right at the end, she was like, Santa, and he was like,
yeah, well done.
Good job.
But it creeps you out.
It creeped me out because I had a funny, like, it spooked me because I was like, shit, does he know?
Yeah. And
I mean, it does seem quite small, confined spaces. Like,
yeah. Oh, it's really claustrophobic. Yeah. And you're stuck in there with this creepy dude. And
there were certain bits that I liked, and I thought like, oh, he's a sweet guy. But then as it like progresses,
he gets creepier and more questionable. Yeah. And it's like they never fully tell you yes or no, or why certain things happen. But you just
the amount of stuff that he said, like, oh, I was in the Navy, but he didn't specifically go on. And then he was like, oh, but I was in the Navy for satellites.
Yeah.
And then there's a load of stuff on the internet that shows what he used to do. There was like, you know, when they make up like websites for movies and stuff. Yeah. There was like a made up website, like a satellite company that had him on it, and it was him. He worked for the satellite company, and there was I think there's like a blooper for Cloverfield where there's a oil rig where supposed satellite fell down. If you saw it at the end of the first Cloverfield, there's like off to the side of the camera, there was like something that falls into the water, and it's somewhere in like the same location where this oil rig is in the sea. It just sort of speculates, does he know everything about it, or does he know what was going on up in space? Yeah. Does he know anything about what these things are? And so or what caused it?
You're really creeped out, and Emmett and Michelle start to get wary of him, so they plan to escape by building a
hazmat suit.
A hazmat suit, so they won't get killed by the radiation.
But they can only make one.
Yeah, so one of them has to go out and find help, and then bring them back to sort of investigate Howard. So they're building this suit secretly behind his back, and then
as he finds, Howard finds like the materials, like the scissors and stuff, like to make the suit, and he's like, "What's this?
What are you doing?
What is this?"
Yeah. And he pulls out a vat of acid and throws the stuff they're making it out of into there. So he gets suspicious of them even more. And then they try to steal his gun from him.
They try to steal his gun just so that they could get more answers out from him. Like, what is actually going on? What are you doing?
Howard confronts them, and Emmett said he stole the gun because he wanted to feel powerful like Howard and have Michelle respect him. And then John Goodman just guns him in the face,
shoot him, and he
just kills him.
I was absolutely shocked.
It was just out of nowhere. Yeah. And then Howard starts hugging Michelle, going, "It's okay. He was going to hurt us. He was here to harm us." And then he throws Emmett's body in the vat of acid to dissolve it. Ooh. My God. So it's all getting super creepy at this point. Michelle's then in her room, and Howard comes in, and he's clean shaven, dressed nicely, has ice cream for her.
It was like Megan liked it in a bowl and not in a cone. It was just messy, and she was like quiet. She didn't say anything.
And he leaves it with her and says, "Dinner's ready, come upstairs." And so you kind of get the hint that he wanted it to just be the two of them. And so you're like, maybe he did kidnap that girl. So Mary then tries to escape, confronts him, pushes the acid over. and then pushes John Goodman into the acid.
Well, she does push him into the acid, but she kicks it down and
it puddles on the floor.
And he slips down and he's sort of melting a bit. She sort of clambers over him and
tries to escape through the vents. And then he's still alive because he's just singed and burned.
And she's trying to get her like the hazmat suit and shit. Yeah. She's trying to run away, and then he's there and he's like
stabbing through the vents at her.
Oh, that was like, I was like, oh my god! It's like as she crawls over it, I thought he was going to go right into her stomach, and it was like, oh.
And I'm still getting like
you get like the
about
spooks,
it now, and it's so creepy. She does escape eventually and goes out into the outside world, and then the bunker explodes.
Because also I think it is highly flammable as well.
Yeah,
the liquid
is flammable,
and it hits some electric.
Yeah, the electric plug,
and then it goes off, and then like it just starts burning up, and that's when she starts climbing through the vents. And then they start trying to stab her, and then she gets out, and
and it blows up, so you know that Howard is dead.
He's dead. He's not coming back.
You think, she's okay, she's fine.
Yeah.
And then the stuff to do with Cloverfield hits, and it all starts to make sense. And she's been told that the world is riddled with radiation, everything is dead, and she sees a formation of birds fly ahead.
Yeah, like
so she realizes, hang on,
the
air is fine.
And she takes
off her hazmat suit. Then in the distance, a massive alien or a ship
UFO,
or something
whatever.
like that.
It was sort of flying around for a bit, and then
spots her when she sets off a car alarm.
Yeah, the car that she was gonna get. I think it was her. No, it wasn't her car. There was just a car off from the side, and then she sets it off, and then the aliens come
along, and they drop like this like scout alien. I guess it's like a dog type thing, and it's trying to like capture and kill her, but she gets the best of it.
Okay, I watched a really version of it. Like I actually had to watch the one in the Spanish dubs.
Okay.
So I actually had to watch it, and I really didn't get to see much of the alien.
Or it's I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of just big and legs and stuff.
Can you get a picture up? I don't know if you can.
I'll try.
If you can, like I can have a look at it. We are entering the ASMR segment. That was me drinking some water. Yummy.
It's coming up with the original Cloverfield monster rather than the one from this. But yeah, so she is scouted and found by the aliens, and then tries to jump into Howard's truck to get away, and the massive ship comes over and picks the truck up, and the truck is going up in the sky, and she finds whiskey and a map in the back seat, and
the truck that gets lifted up.
Yeah, and so she Molotovs the alien that's picking her up in the mouth,
and then it
drops her,
it burns her. Like, doesn't she kill it? She like straight
because it's like sets fire to its insides. She gets away and then climbs into the other car that she set the alarm off on originally and drives away. And you're like, oh, she's safe, but the world's ended maybe because there's aliens. And she comes across a radio signal which says that
there's still people on the
coast. We've fought back. We've taken the coast back. If you have experience of fighting or medical stuff, please come to, I forget which city it is, and she's come to a turning where the city is one way, or she can continue to drive.
Yeah.
And so she decides to turn down the way to go and join the resistance against what I assume is against the aliens.
Yeah.
And then it ends. So I feel a real franchise opportunity there
of
Mary Elizabeth Winstead kicking alien ass.
Yeah. I absolutely loved her when they did the remake of my favourite film, The Thing.
The Thing, yeah.
She is a fantastic actress, and I do like her.
It's an amazing film, and it starts off with this claustrophobic thriller / mystery as you're trying to figure out
what's going on with the characters.
Yeah, what has Howard done this thing that they think he has? What's happened to the world outside?
And he knows all about it. And
yeah, like, oh man. And then out of nowhere at the end, with no prior clues, the aliens come out, and it completely shifts tone.
As she's driving off to Houston, that's where they're like, oh, that's where we're at. We're in Houston. There's thunder and lightning. And in the top right corner of the screen, the aliens. The mothership, like it's like right there, like you can see like the fun and flash. Each flash you can see like the outline of the ship in the clouds, and you're like, shit, it's big.
What a good film.
Brilliant.
I still get freaked out just talking about it.
Yeah, I get the chills as well. Oh. It's super spooky, and I wanna get the DVD.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it to come out. I might actually get the first one, even though I've got it on Netflix, but I'll still get it for DVD because Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Spicy. She got those spicy memes.
This is the Spice Cast.
Hosted by Tim and Barry.
So with that,
we're jumping
going to go into
our survival of the
plans.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to jump into, like Fallout or Alien, zombies?
I think I'll start with zombies.
All right. Well, okay. We'll start with zombies.
I've fully planned this out.
Yeah.
I've got apocalypse plans left, right, and centre.
I think this is it. Like, we're me and you, because it's basically a me and you plan.
Yeah.
We are like, it's a me and you thing. Like, all right, we're going to set the scenario. It's just me and you. Everyone we've known is like gone. Okay, so we're like, oh, parents are gone. Sad times. But we're like, we're both still alive. What do we do?
Yeah, zombie apocalypse. So, this stuff gets me excited. What I would give for a zombie apocalypse.
Oh, dude, I would give my left nut for a zombie apocalypse, because it would be I mean, it would be an absolute hellhole. Like, people would be going and dying and stuff, but nothing.
Man,
the only thing you need to worry about is staying alive.
Yeah, there'd be no worries about like GCSEs or uni exams,
coursework, money, anything,
mortgages. All that would be gone.
I'm just trying to think. Like, I think the first half of it would be pretty like horrible, because obviously you have to go through the flu part of it, and everyone's going to be killed off and stuff. Like, I mean, spending a week up north is like, I know firsthand.
You've been to the medieval times.
I have been to the medieval time, and I have come back, and it is not fun. But yeah, I think technology is going to be the one thing that hits us hard, because we're like, right now we're actually pretty advanced at the moment. Like, we actually have virtual reality, so but it's going to be strange, like, when technology goes, like, phone lines, everything's gone, and that's when everyone's going to be like, it's all like
every man for himself.
Yeah.
I've fully planned out many apocalypse plans. My zombie apocalypse plan. Okay, so it breaks out. It's all good. If it's just me and you, that simplifies it a lot.
Okay, so this is it. We'll simplify it. It's just me and you.
Bare bones simplified.
Say we're into a month of it. Like say like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
We're into a month of it. A month has gone by.
So I've planned it all out. My dad owns a shop.
Yeah.
And above that shop is a flat.
Yeah.
And the only way in or out of that flat is a metal balcony that's
part of the shop,
bolted to the side of the building. So we go up there, unbolt the balcony, and kick it off. Then we are a story off the ground with only one way in and one way out. So we just get a ladder and pull it back in and put it back out. So we've got the flat to live in and stuff. It is off the ground, views all around to see what's coming. No way in except, that one ladder.
Yep.
So it's easily defensible, all that good stuff. And then it's in a relatively built up area, so we can go
like a town area.
Yeah.
You could say like a town area. So
we can go scavenge and build up a stockpile of stuff. But it's also near enough to the countryside that we can go hunting. So we would stockpile stuff from like supermarkets, houses and stuff. It would be a lot of scavenging.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to go out hunting every day. So we wouldn't break into the stockpile if we didn't have to. Also, the shop below the flat is an army surplus shop.
Yeah.
So people might loot the shop front, but there's all the storerooms out the back.
They don't know anything about
that people don't know about.
First hand working with you, like for that, was it the summer holidays?
Yeah.
For a couple of days.
Did a couple of days work there. So it's all, so we can just like raid that, and that has got like army clothing, boots, all sorts of clothing that lasts a long time, knives, all the kit that you need is there.
Yeah.
So that's all good.
No guns, but I'm sure we can
we'll find guns somewhere. There's a lot of farms around and stuff like that. Police station.
Yeah.
It's a short term, but it can be long term.
Yeah, in the eye of it, you can see us surviving more than X amount of years.
It's short term, but it's how can I explain it? It can last as long as we need it to, but there's no no community, no way of growing stuff, all that kind of thing. So it is long term as long as we can find stuff to eat.
Yeah.
But it's easily defendable. Yeah. There's stuff around. It's just, I mean, that's pretty the basics of it.
That is it. I personally I can't think of anything else, but that's it. Or you'd go for the George Romero style and hide out in the mall that we have nearby. But
too many ways in and out.
There's exactly. There's too many ways in and out, and I could or couldn't But it's just one of those things where you're like, it's a no-go because we know what it's like.
But then I think long-term
Yeah.
is to make use of our secondary school where we are, because it's all fenced off.
Yeah. Dude.
As secondary schools and schools in general are.
I've looked at it, and back when we used to have PE, the AstroTurf field, have you seen the fences around it? Like, camp out in the AstroTurf.
So there's the massive AstroTurf fences, so we can camp out in there. But
like those would last forever. They're high, and you can't
proper chunky metal fences,
and they're in the ground, concrete in. So,
but I think like the whole school is surrounded by a fence.
Oh yeah.
As schools are, and it's got gates. So the gates are there. We can go in and out. We set up in the buildings. So we can have like a massive community. Like there's a library, there's a canteen for cooking stuff, so we can really build a community.
If that was going to be the case, that we did do that,
And then all the living accommodation would be on the first and second floor, so that if anything did break in, it wouldn't immediately be a disaster. And then, so there's the field for growing stuff on.
Yeah.
There's like the recreation ground for like if there's any kids there, they can play
and stuff.
Keeping fit.
Yeah.
There's all the equipment there and everything. We can still scavenge, we can still go hunting, but it is a compound. And then, like you said, the AstroTurf, that is a last resort. So we have in there like emergency supplies, tents. So if we get
I wouldn't build tents. I'd like get building on like huts and stuff.
Yeah, like huts, that kind of thing.
Like putting up like small, like just roofings.
Yeah, like a shanty town type thing.
And just then you can put tents up so you don't get like battered by the elements and stuff.
So you do that, and that in there you build a place, you store extra stuff. So if the school is overrun, you go, right, everybody to the AstroTurf, which is like the panic room.
Yeah.
So we can go in there. So it's two communities in one. So if the school falls, you can move into the football compound, and then from there you've got like it's big enough that you can live there for a while whilst you find another plan. So it's all those zombies are there.
It does sound good, and it does sound like a proper safe haven. But there are like other parts where I'd think of like if the army came and they were using the school as like that sort of small compound, like bring like the sick or the wounded or the homeless, or not the homeless, but the people who don't have homes into the school. And I think it would be more or less more overrun than just usual. I'm just dealing out like the bad terms towards it. Yeah, I'm just dealing out there.
If we can take it a bit by bit, day by day, take it over, it will have like medical supplies, army. If that was it. But that's the thing. If there are already the dead in there, that's sort of. I think we'll probably have to like do it day by day, like just take out what we can, like 5 at a time. Yeah, like it would be a matter of clearing out. But as you say, it's probably right that it would be used as a army medical type thing at the very start, which would eventually all go wrong, as it always does.
Yeah,
it would have to be a cleared out job, but when you did, it would be the best place to be.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And like start
I'm actually picturing it now. Like I can see it like everywhere, like the actual full community, the AstroTurf being that part. As you
field,
said,
crops,
everything, like an actual Alexandria itself, just that
the
itself.
Safe zone. It would be a matter of like our secondary school had central block and then north, south, east and west,
like
so
separate blocks, like separate buildings.
So you would start off in one block, clear it, stay in there. Next day, another block, and then
just like the prison.
Yeah, exactly.
As they did, they cleared off one block at a time.
Yeah, it would just be block by block, classroom by classroom, until it was fully taken, and then you would work on securing it. Then you can build a community there. So yeah, I have my plans for immediately moving to the flat, kicking it down, staying there, and then the long term
is like slowly move over.
Moving over to that. Oh, it's good. And then I've got like. Yeah, so then I would be basically wearing army surplus stuff because it's durable, it works well, it lasts for a long time, easily replaceable. And then, weapons, dude. Which weapons would you choose? That's the key for a zombie apocalypse. What weapons would you choose?
It's really difficult because I think I'd just go with like your standard like Glock handgun, but with a silencer on it.
But where would you get one? This is the thing.
Okay, that's the thing.
You got to have it all planned. I've planned it all out for our local area. Everything is fully down to a T.
But I do have a semi-gun license, but I don't think anymore because I've stopped going shooting and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have my own rifle. I don't use it, but I think I'd probably just stick with that for the time being. Quite powerful, yeah.
I've got this planned,
but
dude.
To be honest, I can't think of anything like weapon-wise where I'd think of anything. I mean, there is that gun shop there, sort of. I would just, but that's the thing. It would already be raided, so
Nah, but even if it was like mid-apocalypse, like
I couldn't.
I will break it down for you, my dude.
Go on.
So basically, what I would start with is my basic knife.
Oh yeah, okay.
I would have
definitely,
that.
Yeah. Like
So I know what knife I would choose. I know what knife I would choose and everything. AK-47 bayonets, which are huge, sharp knives, and the sheath that they're kept in, inside the sheath is sharpening stones. So every time you pull the knife out and put it back in, it's being sharpened. So the knife is always sharp. You don't have to worry about that. It's big, it's chunky, it won't snap, it won't snag. It's the perfect knife to have. So that would be my starter.
Okay,
I'd have that.
Fair enough.
Then my I don't know if he does anymore, but I'm assuming that he does still. He owns a shotgun. Obviously, it's kept under lock and key and out of view of everybody. The chances of it being raided are minute. So I would get there. I would take that. That would be my starting kit before I started working on my long-term weaponry. So I'd have a knife and a shotgun. I would chop the barrel off the shotgun, obviously have it sawn off and tiny so it's more maneuverable, etc. Then I would head to the local gun shop that we have, because we live in the countryside basically, so there's a lot of guns. And like the chances are that would have been raided, like 100%. But what I'm saying is I've already got a shotgun, so what I'm looking for at this point is a 22 caliber pistol. And the chances of anybody picking up one of those, because they're quite small, the bullets look tiny, they're going to be like, so the chances are people will have left them alone or not bothered. So I think 22 caliber pistol with a silencer, it's enough to break a skull easily from a close range. The ammunition is easily available and around. Most people probably won't have bothered because they look so small. They're like, what's that going to do? So 22 caliber pistol would be my side, the shotgun on main, and then I would go around houses looking for stuff. Like my first point of call would be looking for a katana.
That's my
and it sounds like a weeaboo thing, but it's just a known fact that they are lightweight, incredibly sharp. They're just silent. They're silent. So I would go like someone in the 3 towns that are within walking distance of where we live must have one.
Oh, definitely. Christ,
Yeah, so I would go hunting for one of those whilst scavenging for food. Like it's just a side quest. And so hopefully I would find one of those, and then also I would hope I would find like a rifle or something. So that would be my kit. I would have a knife and a katana for silenced. Oh, I would also crossbow. That's important.
You're gonna have to get one of those lightweight ones, because I've heard that like actually pulling back the wire, like the wire that like sets off the bow, bolt. It's quite difficult.
That's in America, because they can have their crossbows like basically as powerful as they want, but in England the crossbows are limited to a certain draw weight, so they're powerful enough to kill someone because it's a crossbow, but like they're not ridiculously powerful. So the English crossbow
is the English crossbow. It is quite good, I do say, my good chap.
So that would be my silent kit, because you need silenced weapons. Cause
definitely.
So that, and then I would have sort of the generic whatever guns I can find, because you also need guns.
I think that's what I'd do. So just your standard like knife, handgun with a silencer, katana, because it's like the pinnacle of swords. It's like the best thing ever. And you're just your standard like heavy gun, just in case if like the hits the fan.
Exactly. So that's what you'd have: your sidearm of a small pistol, your knife, your sword on your back, and then you would have some form of big gun or big weapon, whether it be a shotgun, a rifle, or a crossbow.
I'm thinking like she's in The Walking Dead, and she's now with Abraham.
Sasha.
Her rifle, if you've seen that, it's like you can have semi-fire and like fully auto. That.
But the chances of finding
finding that. But if it was like the case, like I did actually have it, and
that would be the one for you. I've planned this because I've read the book.
I've got the zombie survival book that you gave me.
That's the one. Not World War Z. It's by the same guy. The Zombie Survival Guide.
I've got that, and that is that's basically like your hand guide. So
Yeah.
I'd basically keep hold of that
How
book.
to
I'd
survive
leave
the
everything
zombie
else, and I'd be like,
apocalypse.
which book do I need?
That one.
Pull that one out of my shelf.
It's a really good book,
Oh,
and
it
ever
is.
since I
Brilliant.
read it, I started planning for this thing that probably won't ever happen, but at
Won't
least
ever.
I've read it, and I'm
Oh
ready.
yeah, I'm definitely ready.
Yeah. So, want to know how to survive the zombie apocalypse? Pick up Zombie Survival
Survival
Guide
book.
by Max Brooks.
It's
really good.
local Waterstones.
Can I have a cup of water and a brick, please?
I'm sorry, sir, but we do not. This is a bookstore.
But it is called a Waterstones.
We're a bookstore, sir. I'm sorry. But please, I asked for water and stones. Please, water and pebbles. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I read in that book like there's places that you would want to stay in, like churches. Churches seem like a really good. I think I don't know if anyone is going to know, but St. Catherine's Church, you know that, like in my area. That church.
Churches are a good, like, short-term location.
Oh yeah, that would be
Yeah.
like the last resort
Because
thing.
it's got the key advantage of churches is big doors,
usually
one set, so
yeah.
you can block it, and then the windows are all off the ground.
Oh, they're all off the ground.
Yeah.
They're like proper, like full, like 6 foot height. You can't climb it.
So you can't climb it from the outside, and that means no one can get in through the windows, and you can move around freely on the inside without things spotting you.
Also, like, just move all the chairs, like the big massive long chairs that they have.
Yeah, the pews.
Like I'd stick them like by the door, like a couple by the door, and then I'd just use like the rest of them and just sort of like build what I can out from them.
Yeah, churches are a good short-term location at least, unless they're in like a compound, then you're set. But
Yeah.
like if it's just a generic street church, then
I think that's basically
short
I think
term.
that's just basically a street church.
yeah. So that's my zombie apocalypse survival plan. I've got my short term, but that could go for as many years as I wanted to. But then if I wanted to have sustainability, renewable food sources, and a community, I've got that pegged down as well.
Yeah.
It's all local, all fully planned. Oh, I also know what vehicle I would drive.
Oh, right,
I figured this one out, right? Okay. You guys might know these as well because you see them around. You know, like they have like, you know those big like builders yards?
Yes.
Yeah, all those sort of places. And they have those trucks where the wheels are huge and then the carriage is like the flat bed of the pickup thing at the back is like really high off the ground. And you see them thundering along with huge wheels, and they've got like the tarpaulin over the back with like rubble in the back of them.
I know what you mean. Is it like it's like a sort of like a massive dump truck, but it's got massive wheels, and they're just huge. They're like the size of like a car. The actual wheels are the size of the car.
Size of a car. They are.
I'm sure if you'll get the picture up,
I'm going to get a picture up and then I'll tell you guys listening what to Google. I can't
just,
find a picture.
No, we can't find a picture. So it's just a big dump truck, but it has massive wheels, and I'm sure it would pretty much plow through anything.
The cabin is high up, the back is high up, so you can load the stuff up at the back, all with passengers, and we can drive along, and any zombies that come along, you can hit them or shoot them from up there. They're not going to be able to get up on the truck.
They won't be able to do anything.
Yeah.
I think the wheels like covered enough as it is.
Yeah, and like they're so huge, and I see them every day where we live. They're always around, so it's quite a common vehicle where we are for some reason, and it's like perfect for getting around in. Oh,
yeah.
I've got this planned out so much, my dudes.
It is
It's apocalypse, my dudes.
It is the apocalypse, my dude. And we are ready.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm pretty much gonna just bandwagon with you because that's all I can think of. Like, I can't like go into because that is basically it. That just sounds too good. But another thing I'll say is I'm not a very community type person. I think I'd just like I'll lone wolf it. I'll just do it on my own.
You're very Daryl Dixon.
I am a Daryl Dixon. I
think I'd be better off in a small group like you and me. It would just be easier and better.
Okay,
but then at some
Rick.
point you need to like figure to build a community.
Yeah, I think like I think if we once we've like figured out what we need to do and that we've got it, that's where I'll probably like go, yeah, sure, go on then. We'll try Kickstart it.
But
my Kickstarter.
So you're gonna piggyback off my plans.
Yeah.
So, that brings us to the end of our apocalypse-themed chats today. We've talked Walking Dead, we've talked 10 Cloverfield Lane, and we've talked how we would survive a zombo apocalypse. So we're gonna now move on to our last segment of the show, which is our weekly recommendations section, which is where we talk about what we've been reading, watching, and doing recently to kind of give some recommendations to all of you, and so you can, you know, get up to speed on where we are. So recently, I've really got back into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, yeah. It is time to duel, my dudes.
It is Shadow Game, my dudes.
It is going to be a Shadow Game. Get your game on.
Yeah, so I mentioned last week that I was getting back into it and planning decks and stuff, but today we've been out and bought cards.
I feel like I've wasted my life. But yes, it is good. It feels good to be back into it. Like, just that sort of nostalgic, fun thing to do. Like, bugger all like the new stuff they got going on. I like the original stuff.
Yeah, play XEs is as far as I will go.
That Synchros and XEs is as far as we'll go.
Yeah,
but that's it.
But yeah, I've been getting back into that recently. What have I been watching? I've also been watching more Yu-Gi-Oh! As I said it last week, I was watching stuff. I've been watching more. Basically, my life at the moment is Yu-Gi-Oh! Central. I've been watching it, I've been playing it, I've been buying it.
You heard it here, ladies. He is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Man.
Yes. Ooh-wee.
Duel him for his heart and his heart alone.
So, have you been anything reading, watching, playing recently?
I've been reading, playing, and watching quite a few things, actually. Dark Souls.
Okay, yeah.
I was absolutely poor at that game. Okay, until I found that there's this certain spot in the game that you can, like, grind for souls and stuff to level up, and I am OP. I'm sorry, but I'm, like, too good. And I think I'm almost finished. And then I've got Dark Souls 2 to play. And then, when I get my PS4...
Next gen sister. 250
dude, £250 for a PS4. Oh wee, it's too much. No, but can't wait for Dark Souls 3. I had a play of Bloodborne. Difficult. It's not like Dark Souls, because with Dark Souls it's more of defending and stuff, and with Bloodborne full on. That's why you have the gun, the blunderbuss, or whatever gun you choose. But it's more like you have to go like deep into like heavy attacks. There's no defense. You're just out in the open.
Okay.
I finished watching, probably butcher it, but it's Boku Dake ga Inai Machi, and if you want it for English, Erased. It is I think it's pretty much the best show of the season, and I am talking anime related.
Tim is the anime man.
Oh, I am the anime man. Don't talk. If you come up to me, well, you probably will never ever come up to me, because I'll be like, go away, don't talk to me, because I absolutely hate talking about like anime to people. I mean, unless if like it's close friends and we have like the decent taste, but anything from Sword Art Online, Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, any of that main crap, and Attack on Titan, you can fuck off. I'm sorry, but I can't stand. I legit can't stand that stuff. But Erased, okay. Obviously, it's a Japanese fantasy thriller shonen manga. So that it was obviously it was manga first, because normally in Japan what they do is they do a manga and they'll go through the manga first, and if it gets really good reviews and everybody loves it, they'll make an anime of it. The animation. I'll just basically get into the story of it, because I can't really think of like what the animation company of it was. Yeah. The story follows Satoru Fujinuma, a man who somehow possesses the ability that sends him back in time moments before a life-threatening incident, allowing him to prevent it from happening. So basically, it's like a powerful, like a time travel thing. When his mother is murdered by an unknown assailant, Satoru's ability suddenly sends him back 18 years to when he was still in elementary school, giving him the opportunity to prevent a kidnapping incident that took the lives of 3 of his classmates. And he has to just like sort of go back in. Well, obviously he goes back in time after witnessing his mum's death from someone, and then he gets sent all the way back to when he was in elementary school, those ages. He just sort of has to stop this person who killed his mother, who also killed the 3 kids before.
Okay.
And it's such a good show. For 12 episodes, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Think of anything better to watch.
Sounds pretty intriguing.
I've spoken to you this before.
Yeah, I remember you saying about it.
But I know that you can't stand subtitle things, but
I'm not a subtitle man.
you cannot look at words and the screen at the same time.
No, I have funny eyes.
Yeah, so that is a really good show, and I'd advise you to watch it.
And that brings us to the end of the weekly recommendations section, and it also brings us to the end of the show. So thank you for listening, everybody. We are Who Knew. We broadcast an hour-long show every single Monday, 6 till 7 p.m. on CSRfm, and then upload the full episode online afterwards. Although, for the next couple of weeks, as mentioned, the radio broadcast will be out because we are home for Easter, so I have no access to the radio studio, but we will be putting out podcasts, and we're working on continuing the show whilst we're at home. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes by searching Who Knew. Please leave us a review as well. That really helps us become more noticed and picked up and that kind of thing. And we're also on YouTube. You can find us by searching Who Knew Podcast. You can also find us online on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Who Knew Pod. And the three hosts are also on Twitter. I'm at BTDoobs, BTDOOBZ. Matt is at Matt_Sibley, and Annabelle is at Unsatisfied. And are you anywhere that you want people coming and finding you, or are you not interested in that?
If you want to hear stuff from me, just like go to Harry's Twitter and just ask for like, we want Tim back.
Yeah, what we want more Tim.
We want more Tim. Yeah, if you just want more stuff from me, and if you want actual like proper better reviews from anime, because I don't want to say it's been a while, but it's been a few weeks since I watched that show. But if you want to hear more from just anime stuff...
Yeah, because that's something we don't do here. We have no anime expertise on this show.
You are looking at the
we
king.
Need someone of your calibre.
No, I'll give you a good
honest
review.
Reviews.
I give you honest reviews. I'm that Demolition D.
And don't forget, you can contact us here in the studio at whoknewpod@gmail.com. And if you forget any of that ridiculously long list of links, just remember you can find all this information and more on our official website, www.whodemboys.com. Oh dear.
But yeah, I'm sorry.
It's whoknew.podbean.com. Thank you for listening, guys, and we shall speak to you soon.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.